The other piece to this is if you're not a public figure, can you print whatever you want about somebody? No, even if you label it, you cannot, because you haven't made the same choice that the public figure would have made. Now, in terms of articles for this, we had the cell phone article. Take a good look at the cell phone article. That's one of my favorites. We had, and I've got to add a couple of articles up here. We had the flipping of the bird article, if you remember, that one. We had the gun article, the New Jersey kid who drew the gun, if you remember that one. We had Ladies' Night article, which was basically saying that Ladies' Night was discriminatory and should be relegated to the dustbin of history, like what else? Slavery, yes. So there was that one. There were a series of those smaller articles. Take a good look at those, and I'll make sure that those are up today. Yes?
Rule 4.
What's the rule for?
At least 4.
If 4 justices want to hear the case, they will.
If 4 justices think that there's a unique issue, then in fact the court will choose to hear the case, and this is just another way that they can choose the cases that they hear.
What was the order of this discussion?
When they're discussing a case, who speaks first?
The lower person?
Okay, and then who speaks last?
The higher one?
And then when they're voting, who votes first?
The opposite?
So the higher person votes first.
No, I mean it's the opposite of what he said.
Yeah, so the higher person votes first.
Yeah, and the lower person, no. The higher person votes
The youngest
last
one votes
because
first
their
because
vote
he's inexperienced. The
counts more.
older one votes last because he makes the big decision.
Yeah, that's right. So who speaks first?
The youngest.
The highest.
The highest. It's the opposite. And I think you might have transposed that. We'll know on the tape, but I got confused. If you're discussing, it starts off with the Chief Justice first, and then they speak in order of seniority from high to low. And the thought process is that the people that need to be heard the most, heard first, are going to be the people that are the most in charge, the most experienced. When it comes to the vote, it's the exact opposite. The least experienced person votes first. The Chief Justice votes last. Because the thought is that the first vote is not going to be nearly as controversial as the 9th vote, which could decide a 5-4 case. So that's what that is. A lot of these other ones, don't worry about liberal, conservative, libertarian, and populist, and majority, dissent, and concurrence. They're just straight definitions talking about the opinions. So that's what those are. And as you go through this, I'll add the articles. One other thing, and obviously just to kind of hit on this fairly quick, like Chapter 5, we had the Chris Christie stuff in there. Chapter 5, we had the FAT with the Surgeon General, the woman Surgeon General, if you remember. So we were talking about that. Chapter 5, we had media girls, and I don't think we had that on the midterm, but basically, who is it that is most likely to get media coverage if they go missing? The white, just the white girls?
No,
White, blonde.
Why are you looking at Morgan?
No, because
She totally just looked at Morgan. Go ahead and zoom in on Morgan.
Because you gave the example of Morgan, you said it's usually a white blonde girl.
The white blonde chicks are usually the ones that get the media coverage, and some people thought that that was discriminatory. I don't think I added Chapter 5 terms, and I was just noticing that. I'll make sure that I've got the Chapter 5 terms added very, very soon. I'll go knock out a few of these things right now. The exam is going to be set for here, 2 o'clock on Thursday. It's going to be shorter than the midterm. It's going to be the same format as the midterm, and you should not need longer than 2 hours. If anybody wants it in the testing center, let me know, and I'll make sure that you've got it in the testing center. If you're going to miss this, you better get with me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to grade the hell out of these exams, because as soon as these exams are done, we're all done, and that's no disrespect, but it's time to move on. You know, so with that in mind, don't play 2 weeks, 3 weeks waiting to take the exam.
Did you hear him?
Oh yeah, that actually was the other article.
Trayvon Martin?
The cracker article.
No, that's not what we were talking about.
What's that?
Are we gonna?
Don't forget the cracker article.
Are we gonna talk about
Where
it?
is it?
I'll make sure that that's posted. I'll make sure that the cracker
Answer my
article
question.
about white people
Oh yeah, where the name crackers offending.
is the name cracker a racist term or not?
It
Neither
means a
is.
Georgia person, I mean a Florida person.
Neither is what?
And yeah, and you're right. So take a look at the cracker article too. But I'll go ahead and leave you with that. Please don't be thinking that you can take like 3 weeks to take this one, because I'm I'm ready to close y'all out. And I know y'all are ready to get your final grades. You can cut it now.